3, 2, 1, 0.
What's up, W8TRAIN family? So I'm going to be showing you how to make seitan and rice like this. Quick pro tip before you get started: if you're using a rice cooker or just a pot to make your rice, go ahead and weigh that and write down the measurements somewhere. We're going to need that later. Alright guys, so I'm going to show you how to make seitan. This is one of my favorite meals. Seitan is a protein that is made from vital wheat gluten, and then if you want to make it taste better and get a little bit of more added protein and B vitamins, go ahead and add some nutritional yeast flakes. If you guys need this stuff, I can send you links to Amazon where I get mine from. So first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna turn on the oven and we're gonna put it at 425. Second thing we're gonna do, so we don't forget, is we're gonna take a cooking dish and we're gonna go ahead and spray it with some sort of cooking spray. I got coconut oil, you can do olive oil. I try and stay away from vegetable oil. Avocado oil would be another good one. Just go ahead and make sure you get the corners, otherwise it's gonna stick when you're done. So this is good to go. Our next step is to weigh out our vital wheat gluten and then our nutritional yeast flakes. So for me, I'm making an entire week's worth in one go. So I'm going to do 420 grams of the vital wheat gluten. Alright, we got 420 of that. And then, if you know how to use a food scale, you probably already know this. If you don't, you can hit the tare button, and now the scale is going to say 0, and we can go ahead and add our nutritional yeast flakes. I do, for this week's worth, 133 grams. Or a little bit over, 136, it'll be fine. Probably even taste a little bit better. Next, we're gonna add our flavorings. Seitan is awesome, it's a very versatile food. You can make it however you want. Lately, I've been on a curry kick, so I'm trying out this Jamaican curry powder. I've made it once with this so far, and it was really good. I got this because it was super cheap on Amazon, had good reviews. I just really like curry, but if you don't like curry, there's tons of different ways you can make this. You can make it barbecue style, you could make it like Italian seasoning style. I'm sure you could do like lemon pepper, like kind of to make like a lemon pepper chicken. There's as many ways as you can think of cooking something as you can do this. And I already showed these on the screen, but these are the other seasonings and ingredients that I'm going to be adding. So we're just going to pour all those in there. Don't really worry about stirring it. And some salt. And then what I really like to do, no matter how I make it, whether it's the curry kind or any kind, I like to add soy sauce. I don't know, just no matter what I'm making, it seems to taste better when you add some soy sauce. Or if you don't have soy sauce, you could use like the Bragg's liquid aminos. So pour a good amount of that in there. That's going to be a good source of salt, sodium for when you're training and sweating. Next, I'm going to take the seitan, come on over to the sink, and we're going to slowly add water while we mix it. So you can use a mixing spoon or a fork. I've found that the best way, think of it like you're making bread, and just use your hand and just knead the more or less dough. Knead the dough with your hand and mix the water in. And you got to be careful because you don't want to put too much water or it will get soggy. So just keep mixing it up. I'm even going to turn the water down a little bit just to give me a little bit of time to catch up and get what's already in there. All right, so when you get it about like if you've ever made pizza at home, about like you'd want your pizza dough to be. It's, you know, it's firm, it's not falling apart, it's not overly soggy, but it's also not dry either. It's somewhere right in that middle sweet spot. So we're just gonna take it, throw it into our pan. It'll make it easier later if you can kind of make it into a square or a rectangle as far as cutting it. I like to cut mine with a knife into little cubes and make my little curry seitan cubes. But something about like this spread it out as much as you can. I don't take all day doing it, but get it there. I'm gonna clean my hands off and then throw it in the oven. All right, so take it into the oven we go, and we're gonna be, like I said, right around 425. Do that for 20 minutes and we'll come back. Alright guys, so while that is in the oven, we're gonna go ahead and make our rice. So today I am making enough rice for about 5 days, and that's gonna come out to 330-ish grams. So we're going to take 330 grams of rice, and my typical thing with my rice cooker, I don't know if it's the same with everybody else's, but this has worked well for me, is just about double that 330 with water. So we're going to add 660 grams or so of water, and that will give us a good mix for the rice. So once you get here, you're going to want to kind of swirl the rice around. You might have to take your hand, break it up if there's any chunks, just to get it ready to cook. And then my rice cooker has a strainer on the top where I can add veggies. If not, you could make these on the stove, but if you got a rice cooker, it just makes life easier. So I got a pound of bell peppers right here. Better make sure to get every last one out of there. Don't want to waste any food. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and throw it in the rice cooker. For my rice cooker, we just turn the power on, and then we select white rice. You push the button, walk away. It does all the work for you. Super, super nifty. Get one if you don't already have one. It will make your life so much easier. Alright, so it's been 20 minutes. We're going to turn this down to about 200, 225. And what I like to do, just to make sure it kind of cooks evenly on both sides, because sometimes by the door it won't cook as well, I'm going to go ahead and flip it around so that we get it to be able to cook on both sides. So we'll leave it in there at 225 for about another 20 minutes, and then I'll meet you back here. Alright guys, so it's been 20 minutes. I'm going to turn the oven all the way off. Go ahead and open it. Try and get this out with one hand without burning myself. So it's going to be really hot right now, so we're going to let it cool down on the stove for just a little bit. Come over here. The rice is almost done as well, because that's what we're going to be pairing our seitan with. Our seitan is going to be our protein, our rice is going to be our carb, and we're going to have some cashews for our fats. So let's let this cool down, and I'm going to show you how I like to chop it up. Alright, so the rice is done. Now it's time to go ahead and weigh and measure it out for our meals. So I'm going to show you guys a trick on how to equally weigh out any food that you're making. So for example, I made 5 days worth of rice in the rice cooker this time. When I put that rice cooker with the pot on the scale is telling me right now 1460. So this whole thing weighs 1460 grams. What I can do is I can subtract just the pot. I already wrote down, because I weighed out the pot by itself, and it weighed 440 grams. So I can take this 1460 minus 440. That's going to give me 1020. Now I know that there's 1020 grams of rice in here, which means that if I divide that by 5, because I want 5 days worth, I need 204 grams of rice in each container that I'm about to spread out. So that's the first tip. The second one is, instead of placing each container on here and weighing it out at 204, I can simply just hit the tare button again, and now this says that this weighs 0, and I can take away 204 grams of rice for each one of my containers. It makes it much easier that way, much less moving stuff around, and ultimately possibly even more accurate, because you're not dealing with the difference in container weights. So, alright, I took out my 204, hit tare again, it goes back to 0. Time to take out the next 204. So just keep measuring out your rice into the containers. Realize though that due to evaporation, you can see how hot the rice is. There is a chance that you might have a little bit less than 204 in the last one, but it should be close. Our next step is going to be our cashews. So I'm making out 5 full meals. I have already put the bell peppers into the rice that we made earlier, and now I'm going to add the cashews. So I want 20 grams of cashews per day for me. What I've found to be easiest is to put 100 grams of cashews on the scale and then simply just start subtracting. So I had 100 and now I'm going to do my first one, which is 20. You can hit tear again, or if you feel like doing the mental math, I went from 100 to 80 grams for the first bowl. The second bowl I went from 80 to 60, and so on and so forth until we get done. This way it's a little bit more accurate than weighing out 5 separate containers and doing 20 grams each. Now we're only worrying about the variance off of one single measurement. So go ahead and spread out your cashews to all your meals, and we will go ahead and get to the next step. Alright, so now I have waited for the seitan to cool. I can actually touch it now. I'm going to turn on the scale, and I have not weighed out this container yet, but if I put the container and the seitan in here and go ahead and tear it out again, now the whole thing supposedly weighs 0. I'm going to pull out the seitan and see what it weighs. So if you sprayed the pan, it should come out pretty nice and easy. Looks like our total block of seitan is 1,052 grams. So that's useful information because we want to take that 1,052 grams and use that over the next week, so 7 days. So we take 1,052 divided by 7, and now I know that I need about 150 grams per day of seitan. So what I like to do, easiest way, get one of your bowls, get the scale, take the seitan, throw it on a cutting board, and then just chop it up into cubes. So I'll maybe just make it a little easier on myself, cut it down the middle and work on 1/2 first. So just take it and chop it down. If you want to make the blocks even smaller, you can go through and chop it one more time. So just like so. All right, and just so you guys can see it on the scale, I'm just gonna hit tear. We already got our rice, we got our cashews, we got our bell peppers. Everything is ready to go other than the seitan. So we're just gonna add about 150 grams. It doesn't have to be on the dot. I get it pretty close. But if it's you that's eating this food for the whole week and you're not meal prepping for multiple people, either way, you'll eat the whole block of seitan in a week. So about 150, there we go, 150 on the dot. That's cool. So we'll take this one out and rinse and repeat. So we're gonna go ahead and do all 5, and I'll have a little bit of seitan left over for the other 2 days. Since I made 5 days of rice today, I'll have 2 days left over. So, and for those of you that track your calories and macros, I'm going to put that up on the screen. That's for each meal. If you have any questions about this, feel free to reach out. And due to some technical difficulties, I lost the last little part of this video, but you guys don't have to watch me put the seitan into each bowl. Pro tip, when you make it, I like to microwave it and then throw some teriyaki sauce on top. It gives it a really good flavor, but you can also use hot sauce or whatever you like. So guys, here's the final form, and remember, I made enough seitan for 7 days because it stays really good in the fridge, but I only made enough rice for 5 days. So when it hits Friday, I'm gonna go ahead and cook another 2 days worth of rice for Saturday and Sunday. Remember, if you're tracking your macros or just in general, you could use potatoes or some other carb source. It doesn't have to be rice. There's nothing special about it. Please guys, like, comment, and subscribe, and if there's another type of video you want, reach out and I'll make it for you. Take care.